Hey, Danny Bull here, founder of Songwriters International, where we help songwriters develop their craft to go on and sustain a career within music. Now, today we're going to be talking about what makes a successful songwriter. I'm sure you might want to know this if you do want a career within music, and more specifically, you want to be a songwriter, okay? And what makes a successful songwriter is also what makes a successful musician, a producer, sound engineer, and many other things. And these are some of the things that I've learned throughout my career so far that I think is going to be really valuable for you if you are ultimately wanting a career as a songwriter. Okay, so without further ado, let's jump on into this. Okay, so what actually makes a successful songwriter? Well, the first thing, and this is really important, it's pretty obvious, but not a lot of people actually think about this. You have to be better than your competition, okay? Now, this doesn't just go for songwriting. Let's just put this in an everyday scenario. If you go for a job interview for a shop, okay, there's other people that are more than likely also being interviewed. So you have to come across in a certain way. You've got to be better than those that are also going for the same interview. Same concept with songwriting. There's people pitching for projects. There's people also sending their songs in for the same project that you're sending your song in for, okay? So the same concept as that interview is that you have to stand out a little bit more. Your writing has to be a stronger level, okay? So you just have to be better than those that are your competition. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be arrogant. I'm really not saying that. I mean it in a good way. It keeps pushing you forwards to know that there's other people who are going for the same projects for you. But you have to make sure your lyrics are that bit better. You know, your melodies are catchier. Structurally, your song makes more sense. You know, you rhyme when it needs to rhyme. The chord progression is the foundation for the song. All these different things are the things that your competition, the other people who are writing for the same project, are thinking about as well. Okay? So, big thing number one is not in an arrogant way, not in a way that you want to, show off, but more in a way that you just have to be competitive in this music industry when there's other people out there as well. Number two is be willing to accept rejection, okay? I've had a ton of rejection, and even songwriters out there now who are some of the best, okay, they do face rejection, okay? Because like I say, it is a competitive market, so there's people sending in for projects, and ultimately there's only one person who can get that song taken, okay, with that particular artist, okay? So you have to be willing as you go to face that rejection. For someone to say to you, no, okay, we don't want this song, unfortunately we've gone for another song, okay? I've had my fair share of rejection, and now it's not as common. Okay, and you'll find that as you go, the amount of rejection you actually face starts to drop significantly because you become a better songwriter. Okay, but what you also then must do is when you do face some rejection and someone does say no to your song, is learn from it. Try and identify what it was. Of course, songwriting is a subjective thing. So someone might hate the song and someone else might love it. So you have to consider that. But like I say, learn from it. You might have made a mistake with a lyric or a melody, or the production might not have just been good enough. It might not have been at the standard they want. So you have to learn from those things and those times where someone says no, ultimately then to make you better as you go. And the third thing here is write as often as possible, okay? If you get a chance, write, because that's what's going to make you stronger. You can come here and you can watch your videos and you can learn. But if you aren't going away and implementing that into your writing, then unfortunately you're not going to get any better, okay? Because you can only soak up so much stuff before you have to put it into practice. And if you don't, that's where it's not going to tie together. But one really important thing I wanted to stress when I said write as often as possible, I want you to write as often as possible, but with the right process, okay? Now, if you're finding that you're hitting writer's block, if you find you're getting stuck with your songs, if you're feeling your songs aren't good enough, if you're stuck with lyrics, melody, some area of songwriting, that means your process isn't as efficient as it can be. So it wouldn't be wise to keep writing with that same approach. Okay? It's like trying to drive a car that is a little bit broken. It's not wise to keep trying to push that car every day without getting it fixed. Same with the songwriting. If you know somewhere it's not working as well as it could be, as efficiently as it could be, then seek help or figure out what's not going right. And then when you have found the right process, then you can write as regularly as possible, because then you have more songs to select from. When a project comes in, you've got 10 songs instead of 2. Okay? You're becoming a better writer, you're learning as you go, and you're developing your craft. So it's really important that instead of watching TV for 4 hours, go and watch it for an hour and then spend the remaining 3 on your songwriting. Okay? And sometimes it comes down to sacrifice. Rather than going out for that day, go out for half the day, come back and write songs. How much are you willing to sacrifice in order to push forwards with your writing? Okay? There is an element of sacrifice here, but what you have to think about is the short-term sacrifice is for the long-term win. Okay? What I mean by that is, if you sacrifice the next 6 months of those nights out, or that time when everyone else is going out, then in terms of the long run, you're going to reap the rewards for that effort you put in during those periods of time where you wanted to go and do something. Okay? And that comes down to writing as regularly as possible, but with the right process. So that is simply what makes a successful songwriter. Like I said, number 1 is be better than your competition. Number 2 is go ahead and embrace rejection, okay? But learn from it. And thirdly, write as regularly as possible, but with the right process. If you're feeling stuck and overwhelmed with it, then your process isn't right. Okay, so make sure you identify that. Now, I really hope you've enjoyed the training. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button, drop a like and a comment below for any other videos that you might like to see. We've also got a free training, which I am sharing in the description below, completely free, where I walk you through a lot more information to how you can move forward with your songwriting. So if you want some more training, go ahead, sign up for that, and I'll really look forward to sharing that with you.